Good afternoon to one and all. Welcome to the mathematics series of EAPCET program. Right now we are discussing about differentiation till yesterday. So today we are going to completely discuss about applications of derivatives. Swagatam andarki sisya classes ki. ఇప్పుడు నుంచి మనము అప్లికేషన్స్ ఆఫ్ డెరివేటివ్స్ పార్ట్లోకి వెళ్తాము. ఇప్పుడు వరకు వీ హ్యావ్ స్టార్టెడ్ లిమిట్స్, దెన్ వీ హ్యావ్ డన్ విత్ ఫంక్షన్స్, ట్రిగ్నోమెట్రిక్ ఫంక్షన్స్, దెన్ వీ హ్యావ్ డన్ అబౌట్ ద కంటిన్యూటీ, డిఫరెన్షియబిలిటీ. Now we have also completed derivative or the differentiation, and we have also learned about what is the Lagrange theorem and Rolle's theorem. Right now we are into the parts of applications of derivatives. ఇక్కడ నుంచి కాన్సిక్వెంట్ లెక్చర్స్ ఎలా ఉంటాయంటే tangents and normals, increasing and decreasing function and so on. We will be having some part of applications of derivatives, and then we will try to further promote our discussion on integrals and applications of integrals. So it goes on. So I hope you are liking our lecture. మీకు ఎప్పుడైనా కానీ ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉంటే ప్లీజ్ డూ కమెంట్ ఇన్ అవర్ వీడియో, అండ్ ఎప్పుడు కానీ మీకు ఆ సంబంధించిన వీడియోకి ఏదైతే పీడిఎఫ్ ఉందో ఆల్వేస్ ఇట్ ఈస్ అవైలబుల్ ఇన్ ద డిస్క్రిప్షన్. సో this is all the thing. So I would like to briefly introduce about myself. My name is Satish. I have done my masters from IIT Palakkad, and I have trained over 50,000 students from past 5 years. So ఇప్పుడు ఈరోజు మన డిస్కషన్ వచ్చేసి ద రేట్ ఆఫ్ చేంజ్ ఆఫ్ క్వాంటిటీస్. ఓకే, ద రేట్ ఆఫ్ చేంజ్ ఆఫ్ క్వాంటిటీస్. ఓకే, ఇట్ సీమ్స్ టు బీ మచ్ మోర్ లిటరల్ అండ్ సిలబుల్, కానీ ఇప్పుడు ఐ జస్ట్ వాంట్ టు ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ యూ ఈ డిఫరెన్షియేషన్ ఎగ్జాక్ట్గా ఎక్కడెక్కడ వాడచ్చు అనేది పాయింట్. ఓకే, ఇట్ హ్యాస్ ఎ వైడ్ వెరైటీ ఆఫ్ uses, especially in fluid flows, in dynamic flows, as well as in aerodynamics, in any part of the engineering structures also, where we'll be using entire calculus. But ఎందుకు యూజ్ చేస్తున్నాం, ఫస్ట్ విల్ బీ నోయింగ్ అండ్ అండర్స్టాండింగ్ ద టెక్నికాలిటీ, ఎలా యూజ్ చేయాలి అనేదే పాయింట్. బట్ వేర్ వీఆర్ యూజింగ్, వై ఆర్ వీ యాక్చువల్లీ స్టడీయింగ్ ఈజ్ ఆల్ మేనిఫెస్టెడ్ ఇన్ ద ఇంజనీరింగ్ యాజ్ వెల్ యాజ్ ఇన్ మెడికల్ సైన్సెస్ ఇన్ డిఫరెంట్ ఫీల్డ్స్. ఓకే, సో ఒక చిన్న ఎగ్జాంపుల్ తీసుకుంటే ఐ వుడ్ లైక్ టు స్టార్ట్ విత్ అ స్మాల్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్. సపోజ్ మీకు తెలిసే ఉంటుంది, ఇఫ్ దెర్ ఇస్ అ పాండ్ లైక్ అండ్ దెర్ ఇస్ అ వాటర్, రైట్? నౌ వాట్ హ్యాపెన్స్ ఇస్, ఇట్స్ జనరల్ థింగ్. సపోజ్ యూ జస్ట్ thrown ఒక రాయి వేసారు. what happens, there is a ripples formed, right? There is some ripples formed, right? So at given instant, okay, at a given instant, okay, these ripples are increasing at some speed, right? They are increasing with respect to time. The ripples are increasing and the radius is also increasing with respect to time, right? So at a given instant of time, after you have thrown a stone, what could be the possible radius? అంటే ఒక పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ టైం వచ్చిన తర్వాత ఈ రేడియస్ అనేది ఇంక్రీజ్ అవుతా వెళ్తుంది. సో విత్ రెస్పెక్ట్ టు టైం. సో ఒక పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ టైం వచ్చేటప్పటికి కెన్ యూ సే మీ అట్ పర్టికులర్ ఇన్స్టెంట్ వాట్ ఈస్ ది రేడియస్ ఆఫ్ ద రిపుల్ ఆర్ ద సర్కిల్ దట్ హ్యాస్ బీన్ ఫార్మ్డ్? ఓకే, అది ఒక పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ వన్ క్వశ్చన్ like this. So there are several ways that you can address some sort of applications of derivatives, but ultimately it is nothing but the change in one quantity with respect to change in the other quantity. This is nothing but the rate of change. Okay, oka quantity ni increase chestunnappudu how does the other quantity is getting influenced? Okay, so that is all. So always this quantity is nothing but an independent quantity. Okay, so in many cases the time is independent, and the other cases this is called the dependent quantity. Okay, this is called dependent quantity. Okay, so somehow we are relying on this sort of things. Okay, prati oka information ki we can always find by change what is the change, and at some point of time we can also find what is the instantaneous change. Okay, so this is what we are completely dealing with the applications of derivatives. కొన్ని ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ చేస్తే మీకు ఐడియా ఉంటుంది, బట్ ఈవెన్ వితౌట్ ది కాంటెక్స్ట్, లైక్ మీకు సరిగ్గా డిఫరెన్షియేషన్ కానీ ఈ కాన్సెప్ట్స్ అర్థం కాకపోయినా కానీ విత్ లిటిల్ బిట్ ఆఫ్ ఫార్ములాస్ యూ కెన్ బ్లైండ్లీ గెట్ ద ఆన్సర్. ఓకే, అల్టిమేట్గా ఎంసెట్ డిమాండ్స్ ఇట్ డజంట్ మ్యాటర్ హౌ మచ్ యూ ఆర్ వెల్ వర్స్డ్ విత్ ద కాన్సెప్ట్స్, బట్ ఎట్ ద ఎండ్ ఆఫ్ ద డే ఇఫ్ యూ హ్యావ్ లిటిల్ బిట్ ఆఫ్ ఫార్ములా టెక్నిక్స్, ఐ థింక్ యూ ఆర్ డన్ విత్ ద క్వశ్చన్. ఓకే, ద బిజినెస్ ఎండ్స్ దేర్, రైట్? సో లెట్స్ స్టార్ట్ హియర్. ఈ క్వశ్చన్ చూడండి, ద డిస్ప్లేస్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ ఎ పార్టికల్ అట్ టైమ్ t ఈస్ ఎక్స్ప్రెస్డ్ యాజ్ s ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్స్ టు t cube minus 9t. ఫైండ్ ది యాక్సలరేషన్ అట్ ద టైమ్ వెన్ ద వెలాసిటీ వానిషెస్. ఇక్కడ టూ క్వాంటిటీస్ ఉన్నాయి. ఫస్ట్ ది డిస్ప్లేస్మెంట్ ఇస్ నథింగ్ బట్ s ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్స్ టు 2t cube minus 9t. Okay, now he is saying find the acceleration at the time when the velocity vanishes. So you know that the change in distance by time is nothing but velocity. So differentiate cheyandi with respect to time. So if you try to differentiate, then differentiate cheste enta vastundi 2t cube ni differentiate cheste 6t square, okay, minus again this, if you differentiate this will be 9, okay, 6t square minus 9. Now if you try to, okay, then this is nothing but the velocity, right? Now again in order to find the acceleration, what do? Again you derive, so that will be dv by dt, or you can say d square s by dt square, anything is fine. So double derivative, so this will become, so if you try to derive this, this will become 12t, this will become 12t. But he's saying the velocity vanishes, the velocity vanishes. So can I say that dv by dt is equals to 0, dv by dt equals to 0. So that means, sorry, ds by dt equals to 0, velocity vanishes. So that then ardham enti ikkada 6t square minus 9 equals to 0, 6t square minus 9 equals to 0. So from here you get 6t square is equals to 9, t square is equals to 9 by 6, and t from here you will be getting the value of t to be 3 by root 6, okay, 3 by root 6. So you have got the value of t as 3 by root 6. ఇప్పుడు సింపుల్గా ఏం చేయండి, ఇక్కడ యాక్సలరేషన్లో సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేసేయండి, a is equals to 12t, ఈ t ప్లేస్లో 3 by root 6 సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేసేయండి. సో వీ హ్యావ్ a is equals to 12t, t is equals to 3 by root 6, 3 by root 6. ఇప్పుడు మల్టిప్లై చేసేయండి ఇక్కడ మొత్తం, సో దిస్ విల్ బికమ్ 2 root 6, okay. So 2 into 3 is 6 root 6. So the answer is 6 root 6, okay. So the acceleration is 6 root 6. So that is what our answer is, okay, 6 root 6, okay. So very simple, easy, and simple ga cheseyochu. So next question chudandi, the distance travelled by a particle in time t is given by s is equals to 4t square plus 2t plus 3, okay. The velocity of the particle when t equals to 3s. So same malli akkada again we are using the the displacement and velocity relation. So that is nothing but ds by dt is equals to v. So this is equals to, what is change? So just derive this equation, 4t square. So this will be 8t plus 2, okay. So ippudu meer em cheyandi, at t equals to 3, so this will become 8 into 3 plus 2, okay. 8 into 3 is how much? 24. 24 plus 2 is 26. So it is 26 units per second. 26 units per second. Okay. Right. Okay. So ఇక్కడ next question చూడండి. Again, see, again this is a little bit twisted. A point is moving on a curve y is equals to x cube minus 3x square minus 2x minus 1, and the y coordinate of the point is increasing at the rate of 6 units per second when the point is at 2 comma minus 1. The rate of change of x coordinate of the point is, okay. So ikkada entante, so I'll just explain you through some graph. Oka curve undi ila, there is some curve, okay, and there is a point that has been moving on this graph, okay, on this curve, okay. It has been moving at some point, at some point the point is given to be 2 comma minus 1. The point is given as 2 comma minus 1. Now here at 2 comma minus 1, the y coordinate, the change in y, there is some change in y with respect to time, okay. The rate of change of the y coordinate is 6 units per second. So dy by dt at this point of time. So the y coordinate is just, it is some, this is the tangent actually. So the y coordinate is nothing but 6 units per second, okay, 6 units per second. And what is the x coordinate? What is the change in x with respect to time? That is what he's asking, okay. Ide question madu adugutunnadu, okay. The first question is, see, there is a particle that is being actually traveling along the path. At some point there is change in y with respect to time, that is 6 units per second. And what is he asking? He is asking what is the change in the x coordinate, okay. Now the simple thing, ivanni technicalities ardham kaakapoyina gaani simple ga em cheyandi, you just try to derive with respect to time t, okay. So because t is acting as a parameter, okay. So t is a parameter where t is the actual relationship between y and x, okay. So now what do you do? Derive with respect to y, dy by dt. So we have the equation y is equals to x cube, y is equals to x cube minus 3x square plus 2x minus 1. Okay, 2x minus 1, right? Now you see here, what is the differentiation part? This is, how do you derive this with respect to time? Dy by dt is equals to, derive the whole thing. So this will become 3x square into dx by dt minus 6x into dx by dt plus 2, okay, plus 2 into dx by dt, okay, plus 2 into dx by dt, okay, ikkada kuda dx by dt, okay. Now what is the dy by dt we have? So totally I can take dx by dt common, so that will be 3x square minus 6x plus 2. I have the whole thing to be here, okay. Ippudu what is dy by dt? We already have, that is as 6. And at what point he's asking? His point is asking at x equals to 2, y is equals to minus 1. So at x equals to 2, at y is equals to minus 1, so just you write this as 3 into, so at x equals to 2, this will be 3 into 4, 12 minus 6 into 2, that will be again 12 plus 2, okay, into dx by dt, into dx by dt. So this is equals to 6, okay. So this is dx by dt, okay. ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ నుంచి ఏమైపోతుంది? So we have 6 is equals to 2 into dx by dt. So we have 6 by 2, which is 3 by 1, which is equals to dx by dt, okay. 6 by 2, which is 3, which is equals to 3. So option is A, okay. చాలా సింపుల్గా, చాలా ఈజీగా అయిపోయింది, ఓకే. నా ఇలాంటి క్వశ్చన్స్ మీరు ఆల్రెడీ చూసేసి ఉంటారు. వీ విల్ బీ యాక్చువల్లీ ఇవి రేట్ ఆఫ్ చేంజ్ ఆఫ్ క్వాంటిటీస్ అనే క్వశ్చన్స్ మీ బోర్డ్ ఎగ్జామ్లో చాలా క్వశ్చన్స్ మీరు చూసుంటారు. ఎస్పెషల్లీ ఇట్ విల్ బీ కమింగ్ ఫర్ 4 or 5 marks. బట్ ఇప్పుడు మనం చూద్దాము ఈ క్వశ్చన్ ఏంటి. ఇఫ్ ఎ వాటర్ ఇస్ poured into a cylindrical tank of radius 3.5 feet at the rate of 1 cubic feet per minute, the rate at which the level of the water in the tank increases is, okay. The rate at which the level of the water, ante vadu at certain instant what is the change in the height, okay. So if a water is poured into the cylindrical tank, so a cylindrical tank lo chuste there are only 2 things that are changing constantly. Okati enti, when you are pouring a water, the radius of the cylinder remains constant, okay, but the height of the height at which the water level is increasing varies with respect to time, right, and the volume obviously also increases, right. So these are the 2 changing quantities, okay. So oka cylinder తీసుకుంటే, so cylinder lo vaadu em chestunadante, he is just pouring the water, okay. There is some flow of water into the cylinder. The cylinder has certain radius, that is r. So the radius r is given by, it is given by 3.5 feet, okay, 3.5 feet, okay. So this is what he has given, and he has given the rate at which 1 cube cu and cubic feet per minute. So the water is flowing in such a way that for every minute there is 1 cubic feet of water is being increased, okay. So ante amount of volume of water untundannamata. So the volume enta, so the volume is, the rate of change of volume is 1 cubic feet per minute. So dV by dt, so this is the rate of flow, is nothing but 1 cubic feet per minute, okay. So this is what the quantities that we have, okay. Now he is asking, what is he asking is, then the rate at which the level of water in the tank increases is, okay, the rate at which the level of the water. So what adugutundi entante dh by dt, identa అని అడుగుతున్నాను, okay. So if the volume is being increased at this level for certain radius of the cylinder r, what is the rate of change of the height, okay. So it is simple. So what is the volume of the cylinder? Volume of the cylinder enti pi r square h, right, pi r square h. Now we have one thing is, in the cylinder the radius is always constant, so just differentiate with respect to time on both sides. That means dV by dt is equals to pi r square into dh by dt, ikkada we are not differentiating r because r remains to be constant, so there is no change in that quantity. So ikkada dv by dt emayipotundi 1 cubic, so this will be 1, pi is nothing but 22 by 7 into r anta, r is nothing but 3.5. I can write it as 7 by 2 whole square for the sake of simplicity of calculation, and dh by dt. Alright, so ఇప్పుడు నేను ఏం చేయొచ్చు, I'll be taking everything to the left hand side. So 7 by 22 into 2 into 2 by 7 by 7 is equals to dh by dt. So can I cancel this? 7, 7, 2, 11. So this will be 2 by 77. So the rate of change of the height is nothing but 2 by 27. What will be the units of this? This will be nothing but feet per minute. Okay, so this will be 2 by 77. So wherever you see 2 by 77, that is your answer. Chala tondaraga ayipoyindi, chala quick ga ayipoyindi, so it is not even difficult. Okay, now see the next one. A point P is moving on a curve x cube y power 4 is equals to 2 power 7. The x coordinate of P is decreasing at the rate of 8 unit per second. Okay, so x coordinate of P, so that means dx by dt, the x coordinate with respect to time is decreasing at the rate. Decreasing ante enti? That means there is a decrement. So here the sign is important, that is -8. So increasing aitundante, that is +8. Okvela decrease aitundante, it is -8. So now you see, when the point is at 2, 2, then the y coordinates of P. So he's asking what is the change in the y coordinate when it is at point 2, 2. So we'll first take this curve. X cube y power 4 is equals to 2 power something 7. Okay, 2 power 7. Okay, so he has given the point P to be 2, 2, and he has given dy by dt is, so he has given dy by dt, sorry, dx by dt is -8. So dx by dt is -8. So what is he asking? What is dy by dt? dy by dt enti ani adugutunnadu. So now if you try to differentiate this on both sides, so this will become, with respect to time, apply the UV rule. So this will become 3x square into dx by dt plus, sorry, into y power 4, okay, plus again x cube into 4y cube into dy by dt is equals to 0. Okay, so that is what we have kept one thing as constant, and then again we have differentiated, we have taken the product rule here. Now ikkada chudandi dx by dt into, so this will become 3x square y power 4 plus again dy by dt, so this will become 4x cube y cube is equals to 0. Okay, now if you see here, what is dx by dt? That is -8, and what is 3x square y power 4? So x and y are both, so I can just write it as, this is 2 square and 2 power 4, I can write it as 2 power 6. So this will become 2 power 6 plus dy by dt anta? So dy by dt, that is the thing actually we need to find out. So dy by dt into 4, again 4 into this, x is 2, y is 2, that will become 4 into 2 power 6 is equals to 0, right? So 3 into 2 power 6, so -8, you can write it as 2 power 3. So this you can write it as -2 power 3 into 3 into 2 power 6 plus dy by dt into 4, you can write it as 2 square, so that will become 2 power 8 is equals to 0. Okay, so everything, if you take it to the right hand side, this will become 2 power 9. So this will become 2 power 9 into 3 by 2 power 8. 2 power 8. So you can cancel this. So answer is 3 into 2, 6. Okay, so the dy by dt is nothing but 6. So here it is positive. So there is an increase in the y value with respect to time at point 2, 2. So ikkada rendu quantities chuste, with respect to time, the change in the x quantity is -8. So this is nothing but +6. Okay, So these are all some sort of a spatial curves. Okay, eppudaina gani prati oka curve you cannot always explicitly define as y is equals to f of x. At times you need some sort of a other parameter so that you can interlink both the x coordinate and y coordinates which are relying on time, that is t. Okay, so then you can define a curve. Okay, so we can so that is a reason there is an incorporation of several more coordinates in the future. For example, you will be learning something like polar coordinates, cylindrical coordinates, spherical coordinates. There are several more coordinates where you will be relying on in order to address some sort of a curves which could not be represented in the Cartesian plane. So that is the reason. Okay, so yeah, so the answer is 6. The increase in the rate is 6 unit per second. The answer is option A. So the vertical angle of right circular cone is 60 degree. If water is being poured into the cone at the rate of 1 by root 3 meter cube per minute, then the rate at which the radius of the water level is increasing when the height of the water level is 3 meter. Okay, so ఈ కోనికల్ దాంట్లో సిలిండ్రికల్ దాంట్లో రెండు దాంట్లో డిఫరెన్స్ ఏంటంటే, see when you're taking the if you're taking the cylindrical tank, so the radius is constant when you are pouring the water, right? So and the water level is increasing, that means the height is increasing. But whereas when you are actually dealing with the case of circular cone, that means a conical shape figures, appudu emayipothundante the two quantities are actually increasing. That is, with respect to time the radius is also increasing and the height is also increasing. Radius and height rendu increase aitha vastunayi. So but let's try to just address the problem instead of getting into the technical part. So a vertical angle of right circular cylinder of the cone is 60 degree. If the water is poured into the cone at the rate of 1 by root 3, eppudaina gaani meeku question ardham kaakapoyina gaani, here one thing you need to be very careful is if the units are actually mentioned, so it becomes easy for us even if you have not understood. Ikkada em ichchadu anedi clear ga ardham ayipotundi. Meter cube anedi volume, per minute anedi rate of change of volume. So dv by dt is nothing but 1 by root 3 meter cube per minute. Okay, so this is the angle is here, it turns out to be 60 degree. So now if you try to see, if this is 60 degree, so this angle will be how much? 30 degree, right? This angle is 30 degree. Now you see here, ikkada chudandi, so s is equals to t cube minus t square, so then the rate at which the radius of the water level is increasing, so he's asking ultimately what? dr by dt. Okay, dr by dt. So when the height of the water level is 3 meter, when the height of the water level is 3 meter, so h is equals to 3 meter at h. So at certain height of 3 meter from the bottom of the cone, so akkada what is the change in the radius? He's asking what is the change in the radius when the height of the cone is, the height of the water level is 3 meters. Okay, so that is what he's asking. So first of all, what is the volume of the cone? Volume of the cone is 1 by 3 pi r square h, 1 by 3 pi r square h. So here let's try to draw a free body diagram of this figure. Okay, so here we have something like this. So we here this angle is 30 degree, and here the height of the cone is how much? This is, he has given at an instant of 3 meters. 3 meters దగ్గర what is the increase in the radius of the cone? That is radius of the water level at that point. So we don't know the r. Okay, so let's take here tan 30 is equals to, so it is nothing but opposite by adjacent, so r by h. Okay, I can just take it as r by h. As of now I'll just take it as r by h, and now I can write it as tan 30 is nothing but 1 by root 3, so r by h. So r is equals to h by root 3. R is equals to h by root 3. Okay, so r is equals to h by root 3. So immediate ga substitute cheseyandi, or h is equals to r by root 3. H is equals to root 3r. H is equals to root 3r. Okay, so as he is interested in the rate of change of volume, that is dr by dt, so we are just converting all the parameters in terms of r. Okay, so h is equals to root 3r. So 1 by root 3 is equals to r by h. H is equals to root 3r. So try to substitute everything. 1 by 3 pi r square. H is nothing but root 3r. Root 3r. Now this will become 1 by 3 pi into root 3 into r square will become, this will become r cube. Okay, So now you try to differentiate this. Now dv by dt is equals to 1 by 3 pi. So this will become 1 by root 3. So pi by root 3 into r cube. So differentiation of this will become 3r square dr by dt. So this will become dr by dt. So ikkada varaku me clear, okay, dr by dt, but dv by dt enta 1 by root 3. So 1 by root 3 is equals to pi by root 3. So root 3 gets cancelled, 3 r square. So ikkada nunchi we can find out the value of even what is the r value when h is equals to 3 meters. So the radius at this particular instant will be how much? 3 by root 3, that will be equals to root 3. Okay, so from here I can even find r is equals to 3 by root 3, which is equals to root 3. See, ikkada we are not interested in finding out what is the r value. R value we can find, but here the rate at which this radius is been increasing with respect to this amount of volume of flow of water into the conical tank, with respect to that how the radius is been increasing at that particular instant of height. So that is what more interesting is. So instantaneous radius at that point is how much? Root 3. So we have root 3 square, that will be equals to 3. So the answer is root 3 square is 3 and 3 into 3 is 9 pi. Okay, 3 into 3 is 9 pi. So dr by dt is nothing but 1 by 9 pi, or 1 by 9 pi you can also address it as 9 pi, you can write it as 9 into 22 by 7, and then you can just 1 by 9 pi. So pi you can write it as 22 by 7, so 7 by 22 into 9. So that will be the answer. Okay, 7 by 22 into 9. So the answer is dr by dt is equals to 7 by 22 into 9. 7 by 22 into 9. Okay. Yeah, or you can just write it as 1 by 9 pi also. Okay, ikkada varu convert cheyaledu, so answer is 1 by 9 pi. So it is option C. ఓకే, సింపుల్. మళ్ళీ నేను చెప్తున్నాను, ఫస్ట్ ఇలాంటి క్వశ్చన్స్ ఇచ్చినప్పుడు యూ జస్ట్ డ్రా ద డయాగ్రామ్. ఐ నో ఎగ్జామ్లో అంత టైం ఉండదు, యూ నీడ్ టు బి వెరీ క్విక్ ఇన్ ఆర్డర్ టు గెట్ ఆల్ దిస్ థింగ్స్. ఇచ్చిన డేటా క్విక్గా రాయండి, హైట్ ఏంటో కనుక్కోండి. ఆల్రెడీ వాట్ ఎవర్ ద రేడియస్ అండ్ యూ డ్రా దిస్ పీరియాడిక్ డయాగ్రామ్ అండ్ జస్ట్ యూజ్ ద ఫార్ములా అండ్ జస్ట్ ట్రై టు derive it. Okay, see, a particle is moving on a fixed point on a straight line, travels at a distance of s meters in t seconds. Then the distance traveled by the particle when it comes to rest. Same question when it comes to rest ante at that point where the velocity is actually equals to 0, right? So he's asking how much distance it has traveled. So what you do, first you equate dv by dt equals to 0. So if you differentiate this will become 3t square minus 2t minus 1 equals to 0, right? So from here you can find out 3t square minus 3t plus t minus 1 equals to 0. So 3t, t minus 1, okay, t minus 1 plus 1 equals to 0. So t equals to minus 1 by 3, t is equals to 1. Okay, so we have t equals to 1. So t can never be negative, so time can never be negative, so t is equals to 1. So what is the distance traveled by the particle when it has, so t equals to 1 అనేది ఏంటంటే after 1 second, right, after 1 second this particle has actually arrived to the rest. Okay, so ఆ 1 second లో ఈ particle ఎంత దూరం ట్రావెల్ అయింది అనేదే పాయింట్. సో దిస్ విల్ బి 1 cube minus 1 square minus 1 plus 3. So this will become 3 minus 1 is 2. So answer is option C. Okay, so మళ్ళీ మీరు ఇక్కడ కన్ఫ్యూజ్ కాకండి, ఇక్కడ డైరెక్ట్గా 1 వచ్చింది కాబట్టి ఆన్సర్ 1, సో ఎత్తుక్కోవడానికి ఇదంతా తప్పు. ఓకే, హీస్ ఆస్కింగ్ వాట్ ఈస్ ద డిస్టెన్స్ ట్రావెల్డ్, సో యూ నీడ్ టు సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ దట్ 1 వాల్యూ. Next, a ladder is in the length of 13 meters, has one end resting against the vertical wall and the other on the ground. Okay, so okay, nichana, it is just it is just relying like this. Okay, so this is the ladder and these are the two walls and the ground. Okay, now if the lower end moves away from the wall at the speed of 2 meters per minute. Okay, so I'll try to draw the diagram clearly here. Okay, okay, wall undi, okay, in the ground. So this is the ladder we have. Okay, this is the ladder we have. Now this ladder is how many meters? He's saying the ladder of length 13 meters. So ఈ ladder length వచ్చేసి 13 meters. Okay, now if you see in this question, if the lower end of the moves away from the wall at the speed of 2 meters per minute, ante so ee ladder anedi ila jarutundi. Okay, so it is changing. So let's take this at first let's take this instant as x and here this to be some y. Okay, instantly at starting initial point it has some length x and it has some length y against the wall, against the ground. ఇప్పుడు ఏమైపోతుందంటే the ladder is just sliding away, right? But it is sliding in such a pattern that the rate of change of this x length అనేది x ఏదైతే ఈ గ్రౌండ్ లెంత్ ఉన్నదో ఇది స్లోగా ఇంక్రీజ్ అవుతూ వెళ్తుంది. ఓకే, సో దెర్ ఇస్ అ చేంజ్ ఇన్ దిస్ ఎక్స్ వాల్యూ. సో దట్ ఈస్, see, if you see the ladder, if it slips away, so it's the ground length has been increasing. Okay, ఈ లెంత్ అనేది ఇంక్రీజ్ అవుతూ వెళ్తుంది. The change in the x length with respect to time అది వాడు ఇచ్చాడు ఆల్రెడీ. సో which is 2 meters per minute, which is 2 meters per minute. Okay, so this is 2 meters per minute. అంటే దీని అర్థం ఏంటి, ఒక్క నిమిషంలో ఇది 2 అడుగులు వెళ్తుంది. That is what it means. Okay, in 1 minute it is just traveling of 2 meters. It is just slipping away for 2 meters, right? Now then the speed at which the upper end of the wall when the bottom is 5 meters away, when the bottom is 5, so the speed at which, so we adugutundi entante what is dy by dt, what is the change in the height of the ladder from the with respect to wall. Okay, when it is actually enti veedu em adugutunnadu, when at which the upper end of the wall when the bottom is 5 meters away. Okay, at a particular instant x equals to 5 meters దగ్గర what is he asking, what is dy by dt. So we have 3 information here. First thing is dx by dt. We know the length of the ladder is 13. Okay, we know the length of the ladder is 13, right? Now let's try to establish. Now this is a wall, right? And it is the ground and the wall is 90 degrees. So can I write this as x square plus y square is equals to 13 square, right? Now as the ladder is slipping away, the change in the distance from the wall is dx by dt is 2 meters. So just with respect to time, this quantity is changing, this y and x. So just differentiate with respect to x. 2x into dx by dt plus 2y into dy by dt is equals to 0. Okay, but ఇక్కడ ఒక చిన్న క్వాంటిటీ ఏంటంటే at x equals to 5 can we find the y value. So x square plus y square is equals to 13 at a particular instant of 5 meters away. So what is the y length అంటే ఇక్కడ ఎంతకు ఆనుకొని ఉంది in terms of wall. Okay, so that is nothing but already Pythagoras triplet. So the x is nothing but 12. Okay, x is nothing but 12. Okay, sorry, the y is nothing but 12. Okay, now what do you do, 2 x value anta 5 and what is dx by dt, that is 2. Okay, plus 2y, y value anta 12 into 2 is 24 into dy by dt which I don't know, which I need to actually find out. Okay, సో యాక్చువల్గా ఇక్కడ చూస్తే ఈ లెంత్ అనేది ఇంక్రీజ్ అవుతుంది, ఈ లెంత్ అనేది డిక్రీజ్ అవుతుంది. సో యాక్చువల్గా ఇట్ విల్ బి ద ఆన్సర్ మైట్ బి నెగటివ్, బట్ స్టిల్ లెట్స్ టేక్ ది ఓన్లీ మ్యాగ్నిట్యూడ్, అబ్సల్యూట్ వాల్యూ ఆఫ్ ఇట్. ఓకే, సో నౌ 2 into 5 10, 10 into 2 12. So this will become 12. If it goes to the right hand side, it will become minus 12 by 24, which will be equals to 1 by 2. So the change in the y coordinate with respect to time is 1 by 2. So just taking the absolute value of it. Okay, so again let's try to derive this. X square into 2x by 2x into dx by dt plus 2y into dy by dt. So this is equals to 0. Now we have the x to be at 5, so 2 into 5, and dx by dt is 2 meter per minute. Okay, so 2 into 5 10, 10 into 2 20. Okay, here there is a small calculation error. So here if you see, this is equals to 20. Okay, so this is equals to 20 plus 24 into dy by dt. Okay, so now this will become dy by dt is equals to minus 20 by 24. So 4 5s are 4 6s are, so the answer is minus 5 by 6. ఈ minus 5 by 6 ఎందుకంటే this minus value defines that this length is decreasing. Okay, so you just see the positive value of it, so which is 5 by 6 meter per minute. Okay, so that is the next one. So the diameter of a sphere is measured as 42 centimeter if there is an error as 1 by 77. So ikkada ee error anedi it is for the diameter. Okay, just be careful about it. Is measuring, then the error involved in the volume of the sphere is. So blind ga volume of the sphere enti 4 by 3 pi r cube, right? But ikkada eppudaithe the measurement of the error is 1 by 77, error in the measurement of diameter. Okay, so there is a fluctuation in the diameter that is 1 by 77 when you are actually measuring. So he is asking, due to this fluctuation error, what is the change in the volume? Okay, what is the error that the volume actually takes because of this calculative error of 1 by 77. So if change in the radius is 1 by 77, if the error is in the radius is 1 by 77, so the radius will be half of it, 1 by 2 into 77, yes or no? So it will be half of it, right? Now you just see, now what is he actually asking is, the diameter of the sphere is measured to be, so the d is how much? 42. If the d is 42, what is the radius? It is 21. So now what is he asking? What is the change in the error in the volume? So in the diameter change, calculative error valla volume enta change aitundi. So now we have dv by dt is equals to 4 by 3 pi 3r square into dr by dt. Okay, dr by dt. Now we have dr by dt. Now dv by dt, we need to actually find out what is the error because of the error in the radius of the measurement of the sphere. So this I can cancel 4 into pi, so you can just write it as 22 by 7 into r is nothing but 21 into 21 into dr by dt, that will be equals to 1 by 2 into 77. So calculate everything. So you have 7 3s are 21, 7 11s are, and again 7 3s are, again 11 2s are, again you can cancel 2 2. So you have 4 into 9, that is equals to 36. So the answer is 36. Okay, so ఒకవేళ ఒక డయామీటర్ కి ఒక ఎర్రర్ అనేది 1 by 77 ఉంటే దాని వాల్యూమ్ మెజర్ చేసేటప్పుడు యూ హ్యావ్ అన్ ఎర్రర్ ఆఫ్ 36 cubic meters, రైట్? సో ఇంత ఎర్రర్ కి దేర్ ఇస్ అ ఫ్లక్చుయేషన్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ మచ్ వాల్యూమ్. సో దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ we find out. So the next question is, the slope of the tangent y is equals to f of x tan h inverse x tan h inverse sin x at x equals to pi. Simple ga, very easy. Em cheyandante the slope of the tangent antadu kabatti f dash of x. So what is f dash of x? 1 by what is differentiation of tan h inverse x? It is 1 by 1 minus x square. 1 by 1 minus x square place lo emundi sin x, so that will be sin square x into what is differentiation of sin x? That will be cos x, right? Just substitute pi, so that will be cos pi will become minus 1 and 1 minus sin pi is 0, so this will be equal to minus 1. So this is simple easy question. And the last question, let's see. The diameter and the altitude of a right circular cone at certain instant were found to be 10 centimeter and 20 centimeter. Okay, so the diameter is 10 and the altitude and the height is 20 respectively. If the diameter is increasing at the rate of 2 centimeters per second, okay, so the change in the diameter with respect, if its diameter is increasing at the rate of 2 centimeter per second, so I'll just take it as d, I'm just taking capital D as the diameter, with respect to time is nothing but 2 centimeter per second, right? Okay, then at what rate must its altitude, that is, let's take it as dh by dt, in order to keep its volume constant, then at what rate its height should be changing such that its volume is constant. Okay, so the change in the volume is constant, that is what he meant. Okay, the volume is constant in the sense like the change in the volume will be equals to 0, right? If the volume is constant, the change in the volume should be equals to 0. So what is the quantity we have? V is equals to 1 by 3, what is the volume of the right circular cone we have? V is equals to 1 by 3 pi r square h. Okay, V is equals to 1 by 3 pi r square h. So dV by dt is equals to, so 1 by 3 pi So here both radius as well as the height both are changing, okay, both radius as well as height. But here instead of taking height, we need to just manipulate our formula in terms of diameter, because all the parameters have been given in terms of diameter. So you can write r as d by 2. So this can be written as 1 by 3 pi, r can be written as d by 2, so that will be d square by 4 into h. So 1 by 12 pi d square h. 1 by 12 pi d square h. Okay, now so we have 1 by 12 pi. So just take the differentiation d square kinga h ki. So first you derive with respect to d, with respect to t first. So 2d into dd by dt into h plus, now again what do? You take d square into dh by dt. Okay, now what do? Dv by dt, already he said volume is constant, so differentiation of a constant is always 0. So pi by 12 into 2d, d value, so we have here, so he has already given the diameter is 12 and the radius and the height is 20. So capital D is 12 and the height is 20. Okay, so capital D is 10, capital D is 10 and the height is 20. So that is what the information we have. Okay, so 2 into 10 is how much? 2 into 10 into dd by dt. So that is what he is asking actually, dd by dt into h value anta, h is already 20, again d square is 10 square, that will be 100 into dh by dt. Okay, so he's asking dh by dt. Here we have dd by dt is 2 centimeter per second. So this quantity will be equals to 2. So 100 into dh by dt. Okay, so now we have pi by 12 into, so we have 20 into 2 40, 40 into 2 80. Okay, so 20 into 2 40, 40 into 2 40 into 20 800 plus 100 into dh by dt. Okay, so e value meeku istunanu, you just try to calculate this value and let me know the answer for this. You ultimately need to find what is dh by dt here. Okay, so everything is there on the board, just do the last calculative part. So here comes the end of the session. So ikkada I want to end. Again today we'll be meeting with the session on increasing and decreasing functions. Again we'll be coming back at 5:30. Please come and again visit our lecture, and as well as again in 2 hours, again at 3:30 we have one more lecture on chemistry. Again Nidhi ma'am will be coming and she'll be taking the lecture. So please do follow us on YouTube, as well as meeku Play Store lo mana app good undi. So you can download this app through the Play Store and you can scan it and download it. And there is so much of content that has been already on track, and we are all there working round the clock for you. Please do subscribe our YouTube channel, as well as download our Play Store, and as well as share to as many people as possible, so that like it will be useful to so many people around the globe. So thank you so much, and once again stay tuned.